Are we live? Well, hello. Looks like I'm live on X and I'm live on Rumble. Now I'm live on YouTube. Here we go. Welcome to 2025. Let's see here. Here we go. 2025, everybody. We made it. We made it another year. So, hope everybody had a safe and healthy new year. My name is Brickhouse, your humble host of this show. Now that I've got the test streams out of the way, it's time to go in full-fledged, or just dive on in full bore. So, few things. I did not have what happened yesterday on my bingo card to begin 2025. I'll just flat out say it. It was a terrorist attack in New Orleans. I know some news outlets were hesitant to say that. ESPN, when they announced the Sugar Bowl was going to be moved to today and postponed. It was supposed to be last night after the Rose Bowl. They just couldn't help themselves over there at Disney-owned ESPN by not just calling what happened in New Orleans what it was. Same could be said for, what happened in Vegas at Trump International. Kudos to Elon for the construction of the Cybertruck. I think that would have been a lot worse than what it was if it wasn't for the fact that it was a Cybertruck. I mean, you can lambast the Cybertruck all you want. Not going to deny, though, the build quality is, shall I say, stout. I mean, it's stout. So there's that. You had Joe Biden come out, make a 3-minute announcement with his prepared remarks and shuffle off without taking any questions. I mean, that's to be expected. It's, Joe Biden and all. What else did we have yesterday? I mean, it was a jam-packed New Year's. I mean, for me, spent my time watching some football. For those of you sports fans, that first game yesterday between Texas and Arizona State, that was a banger. And I know what people are going to say. The refs handed the game to Texas. That call should have been targeting, blah, 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 blah. I view it differently. And keep in mind, I don't have a rooting interest in that game. When I saw that play happen, what I saw was a defender heads up, trying to make what I would call a form tackle, and they met face mask to face mask. How you get targeting out of that, I have no idea. And yes, the NCAA needs to change that rule and make it more defined, because there's been a lot of, and I mean a lot of, subjectiveness when it comes to the targeting rule in college football. I mean, I've seen plays that really shouldn't be called targeting. I've seen plays that shouldn't be targeting at all called targeting. And they need to clean that shit up. Okay. So there's that. Then you had the Ohio State-Oregon game, which I turned off at halftime because Ohio State was just kicking the holy hell out of Oregon, which to me, the whole college football playoff and these conference presidents who want to protect their conference champions by giving them a bye. No. You release the final poll of the season, and you seed the teams 1 through 12 as they are in the either coaches poll or AP poll or the playoff poll, whatever poll you want to use. Teams 1 through 12 are seeded 1 through 12. None of this protecting BS of the conference champions. There is no reason Oregon and Ohio State should have played yesterday in a quarterfinal round. No reason. Because Ohio State, quite honestly, was not an 8 seed. Not even close to being an 8 seed. And if you're the number 1 team in the country and the overall number 1 seed, you shouldn't have to play in Ohio State as a number 8 seed. Just saying. What else we got here? Jeez, I mean, it's been a crazy new year. It has been a crazy new year. What else we got going on? Whitney Cummings. I didn't see this. I saw it after the fact, but she blasted CNN on CNN during their New Year's Eve show. We'll get into that. There's a lot happening. I guess there was another incident. This is from the New York Post. There was a incident in Queens last night. I mean, what is going on? What in the hell is going on? I mean, besides the fact that we have no leadership right now in this country. We have what? Let's see. Today's the 2nd. We got 18 days until the inauguration. We've essentially been a rudderless ship as a country for the last couple of months. And I'm being gracious by saying a couple of months. I'm being really gracious by saying a couple of months. We've been rudderless for a lot longer than that. What else we got going on? President Trump put out a statement too about the happenings in New Orleans and Las Vegas. I did see on social media, I had a couple. I responded to a friend of mine on Facebook asking, where were the barricades at in New Orleans? And just so happens that they're in the process of updating the barricades and replacing them, and the old ones have been taken down. So the barricades that are up in the French Quarter, to keep vehicles out while there's stuff going on, yeah, they just happen to not be there when this guy decided to drive through the crowd. So, and I've seen, I've seen what those barricades look like. I've seen how they work. I've seen what they can do, and they're effective at keeping vehicles out. Saw barricades like that firsthand in Detroit, a couple years ago. And I just happened to notice it when we were walking from our parking deck to Tiger Stadium, that they have barricades like that set up all around Comerica Park and Ford Field there in Detroit. And it's to protect gatherings. It's to protect crowds. It's to close off streets. And it's beyond me how the city of New Orleans could come out and say, yes, this was a terrorist attack. But yet the FBI comes out and says, no, it wasn't. And then they have to recant later on and come back out and say, oh, yeah, it was. It was. It was the whole time. Let's see here. Take a couple things quick. So I guess President Trump, I should say President-elect Trump. Heck with the President-elect stuff. President Trump. He put out a statement this morning. And man, the dude is up early. 4:30 in the morning on January the 2nd. He puts out a statement over on True Social. And this is what it says. Our country is a disaster, a laughingstock all over the world. You know, I had somebody years ago say that our country was a laughingstock because Trump was president. And don't get me wrong, this person is a friend of mine. We don't talk often. We do disagree on politics. She does not like Trump. But we're a laughingstock now. We weren't a laughingstock then. We were respected then as a country. People feared the United States. What was it Ronald Reagan said? Peace through strength. If you project that you're a nation that is led by competent leaders and have the cojones to back it up, people aren't going to mess with you. And Trump is right in this respect. This is what happens when you have open borders with weak, ineffective, and virtually non-existent leadership. Yeah, this is what you have when we don't know who's coming into this country. Period. We don't know. You know, it used to be we had a distinguishing I want to say we used to distinguish between legal immigration and illegal immigration. And then somehow 10 years ago or thereabouts, we just started just calling it immigration. We have lost the aspect of if you cross into our country and you don't come through a checkpoint, you don't go through a port of entry, you have broken the law and you have come into this country illegally. Period. End of story. But what those on the left have done is said, yeah, you can come into this country because you're seeking asylum. No, you're not seeking asylum. They're not seeking asylum. They're not coming here to integrate into our society to make our country better. And Lord knows who's coming in. We don't know who's coming in. I just lost my train of thought. Anyway, we'll get back to Trump's little comment here. The DOJ, FBI, and Democrat state and local prosecutors have not done their job. That's without saying. They are incompetent and corrupt, having spent all of their waking hours unlawfully attacking their political opponent, me, rather than focusing on protecting Americans from the outside and inside violent scum that has infiltrated all aspects of our government and our nation itself. Democrats should be ashamed of themselves. That'll never happen. For allowing this to happen to our country. No, this is what they want. They won't. They don't. Democrats don't know what shame is. They don't. They have no shame. Saying that they should be ashamed of themselves? Sorry, Mr. President. You can say that all you want, but they know no shame. The CIA must get involved now before it's too late. Well, I'm just spitballing here, but I think there's some people within the intelligence community and the CIA that actually kind of prodded this to happen. My opinion alone. But it seems to me that that there's some forces that wanted this to happen. Just say. Oh, where are we at here? The USA is breaking down. A violent erosion of safety, national security, and democracy is taking place all across our nation. Only strength and powerful leadership will stop it. See you on January 20th. Make America great again. Yeah. So that was a statement from Donald Trump this morning. Here's from the New York Post. Actually, I'll just play this right here. This is video from the Cybertruck explosion. Now, what they're saying is that he had, I guess, fireworks in the back of the truck. From what they're saying, and Elon had put out there that all the telemetry, all the systems with the truck looked normal, so wasn't tampering with the truck itself. But this is video, and I've stayed at Trump International. Beautiful hotel. Stayed there last year when we went to Vegas. It's kind of off the beaten path a little bit. I mean, it's not right on the strip. You got to walk about a quarter of a mile to get to the strip. But it's not in a bad location. I mean, you can see Resorts World. You're right there at the what do they call it? The fashion showcase, the big mall there on the strip. It's not in a bad spot. But here's video. This is surveillance video. And yeah, you could tell there was some fireworks in there. Now, I will say this. If this would have been like an F-150 or Dodge Ram or Chevy Silverado or one of those trucks, this would have been a lot worse. That would have been a lot worse. There's another look at the Cybertruck. There's the statement from Donald Trump. Now, New York Post, I got a suggestion. Don't call this statement a rant. His rant came hours after Shamsuddin Jabbar, and I probably butchered that name, but I don't care, as an ISIS flag-carrying U.S. Army veteran mowed down New Orleans revelers with a pickup truck in a deadly attack, killing 15 and injuring dozens. That's not a rant. The FBI said it is probing the deadly massacre as a terrorist act and that investigators don't believe he acted alone. Meanwhile, authorities are also investigating a Tesla Cybertruck explosion that occurred outside Trump Las Vegas Hotel on Wednesday as a possible act of terror. Fireworks, mortars, and camp fuel canisters were found stuffed in the back of the futuristic-looking pickup truck after it exploded, killing the driver and leaving 7 with minor injuries. I mean, oh, Washington Post. Really? And Clay Travis just posted this a little bit ago. And it says here, this is the front page of the Washington Post. dated January 2nd, 2025. And it says, truck rams New Orleans crowd. What? Truck rams New Orleans crowd. Are you kidding me? I how is it they're having a hard time calling this what this is? Are they're I know why. I know why they're having a hard time calling this what this is. Because they're too afraid of offending someone. It's 2025. The pendulum is swinging back the other way. The days of being afraid of offending someone because you're telling it like it is, you're calling it out like it is, are over. Call it what it is. Truck rams New Orleans crowd. Are you kidding me? What else we got here? I'm just looking through. That's a great photo. That's a great meme. Oh, love it. Oh, and Lindsey Graham has to speak up. What's Lindsey Graham have to say? All Americans are heartbroken this New Year's Day because innocent people enjoying their lives were killed or injured in a senseless, cowardly act of terrorism. May God grant healing to the wounded and comfort the families of the fallen. Over the last several years, we have allowed radical Islam to regain its footing in places like Afghanistan. That inevitably leads to inspired attacks against our homeland and that of our allies. To protect America, we have to keep radical Islam beaten down throughout the world. If not, we pay a heavy price at home. And as this person points out, just like after 9/11, let's start up the war machine again. Now, let's just go over this post, shall we, from Brian Cates. To stop them from coming over here, we need to go fight them over there like we did after 9/11. Mike goes, cha-ching, for another 20 years. That's their plan. That's what Lindsey Graham wants. That's exactly what Lindsey Graham wants. And as far as Lindsey Graham's concerned, can we get somebody to primary his ass in South Carolina, please? That guy just sticks up his finger which way is the wind blowing, and that's what I'm gonna put out a statement for. He is such a linguini spined, wishy-washy. Set up attacks here against Americans, get the public on board with new forever wars, and launch new military operations overseas. They're going to attempt to build a fast consensus and tie Donald Trump's hands so he doesn't look weak for not wanting to go after the terrorists who did this. Oh, but he is going to go after the terrorists who did this. It's just the real terrorists driving all this behind the scenes aren't who the people still sleeping in the Matrix think they are. Pay attention to which principled conservatives in the U.S. Congress scream and yell at Trump for balking at new military overseas operations to go get the terrorists. They're really going to get upset when Trump starts declassifying stuff and millions of more Americans wake up to what's been really going on. And then a couple hundred people get arrested, tried by the military, and you know what happens after military tribunals and you're found guilty. Rough but necessary transition to ensure nobody ever pulls this shit again. Yeah, exactly. Simone Biles is SI Sports Person of the Year. That's not a surprise. Even though I agree with Jason Whitlock, it should either be Caitlin Clark or Shohei Ohtani. I mean, Simone Biles, yeah, she came out of retirement. She performed well at the Olympics, but that's 2 weeks out of the year. And as far as gymnastics goes, what's that, like the last week of the Olympics? Maybe, possibly. So, yeah, I agree with Whitlock here. It's got to be Caitlin Clark or Shohei Ohtani. It's not Simone Biles. I'm just scrolling through here, just shotgunning this one, folks. There really wasn't a lot of show prep for this. Stop calling us far right. You should be calling us right so far. Go back to my notifications, see if they got anything new. Oh, I have to talk about this. So, I was at the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl on New Year's Eve. Fiance and I drove up to Orlando to attend the game. My University of Illinois Fighting Illini were playing the University of South Carolina. And I got to say this. First, our seats were deep in Carolina territory. We sat in those seats for about the first quarter. We found some empty seats in Illinois, in the Illinois cheering section, one of the Illinois sections, and moved over there because, wow. People South Carolina, nice, polite, but wow. And I'm not going to say here what I told her, but yeah, wow. So there was a little bit of a kerfuffle in the third quarter during the game where an Illinois player was injured. He was over by the South Carolina sideline. Trainers went over there to check on him. Illinois head coach Brett Bielema took the opportunity to walk across the field, and he wasn't happy about something, and I'll get into that in a second. When he walked across the field, he made this motion with his arms, which, for those of you that follow football, you know, in college and in the NFL, when there's a kickoff and the returner does this, that means he's going to just take the touchback, and he's not going to try to field the ball. He's not going to try to run it back or anything. Well, South Carolina coach Shane Beamer decided, and he admitted this in his press conference afterwards, after the game, that he talked to the referees and said, hey, we're going to do this trick play where my return man's going to make this signal, the T signal, and then he's going to, and we're going to run a fake off of that. The problem is that it's kind of an unwritten rule that this means you're giving up. You're taking the touchback. You're going to take the ball to 20, 25, whatever it is now, and be done. But instead, South Carolina decided to run a lateral play off of that, where you can see the Illinois kick coverage team, when they see this, they're all starting to let up, thinking, okay, touchback. When in reality, they ran a lateral play, and they ran the ball out to the 25, which is where they would have got it anyway on a touchback. Well, Illinois coach Brett Bielema was not happy about that. So I'll see if I can find the video, because it's interesting. Might have to find it on ESPN. Oh yeah, by the way, College Game Day. How'd those picks work out for you? Yeah, we might not have it here. I might need to go to ESPN. Let's see if I can find it. So I found it on the broadcast. And on the broadcast, they were so wrong as for the reasoning why that happened. Oh, ESPN's covering wrestling again. Nice. They don't have it here. Let's do. I know where I can find it because I recorded the replay of the game. Here we go. I need to turn down the volume.
Line of scrimmage.
I don't want to get copyrighted. Let's see. This happened in the third quarter. So here we go. So we got an injured player here. Okay.
14 by Jaheim Clark, a.k.a. Juice Clark.
With a 6-yard gain for Lenore Sellers.
One sophomore from
thigh to the
Shane Beamer.
The helmet ain't hard enough when you got 200.
So here's where this is this. They do show this on the replay, but this is what's happening here. This is where Bielema walks across the field, basically saying, hey, you guys did this. And he wasn't happy about it.
140-pound legs with momentum
and you can
hitting
see
you,
Shane
so I know
Beamer
what that
just
feels
go
like.
Ape shit
That
here.
can't feel good.
It doesn't.
And what do we have? We have an altercation of some sort down on the field. Shane Beamer is incensed, irate about something.
Brett Bielema walked across the field to take care of his injured player and taunted Shane Beamer with the substitution posture the refs do, the Matzig signal. He did it repeatedly. Beamer could hardly believe it at first, could hardly believe it at first.
Wow, Q.
He taunted Shane Beamer, and Beamer had enough and snapped. Shane just turned to me and said, "You saw what he did. You saw what I did see it.
Here's a look at it.
I did see it." He taunted the opposing coach.
Now, yes, I'm an Illinois fan. Yes, I was there at the game rooting on the Illini. And yes, Brett Bielema probably should have got a flag for taunting. But if you could see where he's coming from, what Beamer did by running that trick play, by taking advantage of a rule, which I will admit, the Illini took advantage of the substitution rule all game long. And the South Carolina fans were booing like crazy. And I'll get into that in a second. But to have your player on a kickoff make the sign, it's not a fair catch where he holds up his hand, but make the sign where, hey, we're letting it go, touchback, and then to run a trick play off of that, dude, that is Bush League. Because guys are letting up. Because they know when they see that T symbol, that means we're going to take the touchback. We're not going to advance the ball. We're not going to try to bring the ball out. And then for ESPN, which I listened to this broadcast, it was atrocious. It was just simply atrocious. Mark Jones is horrible. Ronnie Jones, horrible. To bemoan that, oh, it was the substitution signal that it was given. It was the signal the refs give for substitute. No, it wasn't. Had nothing to do with that.
Wow.
There it is. And then here's what ensued after the taunt with the substitution signal. Shane Beamer was apoplectic here.
I mean, that is Shane Beamer. While as a coach, you got to control your emotions as well. But Brett Bielema, remember that injury happened on the South Carolina sideline. Taunting another head coach like that,
He wasn't taunting the head coach. He was taunting the entire bench, as he said in his press conference afterwards.
Bowl games matter,
yeah.
Mark. Matter to these coaches enough to be talking that talk.
2nd and 4.
Continue this game.
Here it is right here.
South Carolina substituting right now with the play clock at 25.
And this is an example of what I was talking about with the substitutions. And it was pointed out, hey, if you want to stop that, stop substituting on offense. Real simple. They subbed on offense on every play, every down. And the rule is if the offense does a sub, the defense gets to respond. And he even was doing subs late in the play clock.
Play clock below 15. And a timeout. Brett Bielema is smiling.
South Carolina.
But then there was a second round of substitutions.
And finally, he calls timeout.
And it was that second round of substitutions that got South Carolina in trouble. Because then Brett Bielema and Illinois said, all right, let's send in a new round of Rhinos. The big boys started making their way in, and it forced the timeout.
Can I say something? Hey, Q, you need to get ready for that post-game handshake, if there is one, when this is over.
Hey, tweet your friends.
Okay, that's enough of that. So let's do this. Shane Beamer press conference. So this was post game. Where Shane Beamer reacts to Brett Bielema.
In all my years of being around football, I've never seen an opposing head coach come over to the opposing team's sideline and basically make a gesture towards the opposing head coach. And I think he was upset about something that we did on the kickoff return in regards to Juju on the throwback to Nick Harbor. But I would say he needs to check the rule book because that's something that we cleared with the officials before the game. So disappointing. He got a lot of respect for him. He's obviously done this for a long time, but in all my years of coaching, I've never seen that happen, David. An opposing coach come over while his player's hurt and basically have something to say to the opposing head coach. But I got my own team to worry about. We weren't good enough today. I think his issue was when we threw the throwback kickoff return.
That was the issue, and ESPN just couldn't seem to grasp that. Of course, I expect that from ESPN. They got big money tied up into the SEC. So, what's the SEC's borough record this year? Just saying.
Our kickoff returner did this, which most teams, that's a signal that it's a touchback and we're not going to return the.
Not most teams, all teams. College and NFL. It's an unwritten rule, and he tried to take advantage of it, and he didn't. And I'd be upset too if I was the opposing coach. I guarantee you there'll be a rule about that next year.
Kick. You're allowed to do that as long as you don't do a waving motion. It's no different than on a punt. If the punt returner comes pointing to the ball that's bouncing on the ground, he's allowed to return it. If you're doing this, you're not allowed to return it.
So that's Shane Beamer. Let's get to Brett Bielema. See if I can get it from here. They don't like the fact I have an ad blocker. I don't want to play the whole press conference. Even get it from the Sporting News here. No video there. Oh, here we go.
I don't know exactly about the other thing. I know the only thing that I did was there's a unwritten philosophy in coaching that when you do this as a college kickoff return guy, what you're doing is you're telling everybody else that it's going to be a fair catch and it's going to be dead in the end zone when the ball lands. The reason we do that, and I first got aware of it was in the NFL, was kickoff and kickoff return is the highest percentage of injury in the sport. So one of the things that coaches began to do was everybody out of respect started T-barring. I think these guys would tell you, everybody does that. I've never seen it any other way. It's not an official. There's nothing illegal. They didn't do anything illegal. But it put us, I think, in a position that we now, the ethic of what that is, got evaporated there, though, because our kids stop. So when you're a kickoff return unit, right, if I'm running at you and the kickoff return back there, the guy blocking me, he doesn't know what's going on, so he's going to begin to engage you. And when you see somebody do that before the whistles are blown, you can stop, decelerate, and you don't have these massive collisions. Listen, I love Shane. He's a good person. I know somebody said that he thought I did it to him. I did it to the whole damn sideline. I didn't know it was going personally at him. I did it to the whole sideline. I just wanted them to understand that I know what just happened. There's nothing illegal. There's nothing wrong. I just have never seen it done in any level of football, college or pro. That's it.
So there you have it. There's both sides. Shane Beamer's take is, you know what? We cleared it with the refs. They said it was okay. We tried it. Brett Bielema says, hey, I know what you did. I know you took advantage of an unwritten rule. And I didn't like the fact that you did that, because there's a reason why you give the T-bar signal on a kick return if it's in the end zone. And it's for player safety. And like he said, he found out about that in the NFL, and it transitioned down to college. So there you have it. I mean, it was a wild time. It was, I mean, there was even a wedding. There was a wedding at the Citrus Bowl. Could not believe that. Ched Z was in the building. I thought that was AJ Francis that I saw lurking on the sidelines from my seat up in the pavilion. For those of you who don't know, AJ Francis used to wrestle as Top Dollar in the WWE. Now he wrestles under his own name in MLW and TNA Impact. Or I should just say TNA now. So yeah, had a good time at the Citrus Bowl. Didn't get home till late on New Year's Eve, mostly because of traffic. There's always, and this is one of the craziest things that I have ever seen. So they do this, the Cheez-It mascot, Ched Z, gets kicked for a field goal. And watching this live was just like, what did I just see? So here we go.
Nothing can stop me.
And he's up.
I gotta stop that because of the music. But there you have Ched Z. I mean, this is one of the things I never thought I'd see at a bowl game. Granted, I've only been there two bowl games ever. The ReliaQuest Bowl a couple years ago, and now this one. But that was... So, yeah, it was a good day to be an Illinois football fan. 10 wins for only the 5th time in program history. Love the fact that everybody on game day was wrong. Illinois was a 10.5-point underdog. Happy for Josh McCray, running back for the Illini, with everything he's gone through the last couple of years, all the injuries and stuff. So yeah. It was a good time at the Citrus Bowl. Excellent time at the Citrus Bowl. Let's see, what else can we talk about? Oh, let's talk about Whitney Cummings, shall we? She's getting a little bit of flack. She was on CNN's New Year's Eve special, and this was right before the clock struck midnight. And I'm just gonna play this because she roasts CNN on their own network. And it's a sight to see. So let's watch.
Let me be clear though. 2024 was not only negative. The media wants us to believe this country is so divided, but we actually came together a lot this year. Like as a nation, we unanimously agreed that we would rather see J-Lo in a toxic relationship than in concert. We all agree the government totally knows what drones are and are telling us. The drones are still up there, and we have no idea what's behind them. No idea. I mean, they're still up in the sky, so I guess we can rule out that they were made by Boeing. The point is, I think we all agree on a lot of things. And since I only have a minute left, lie on establishment media, why don't we just say a bunch of things that we know that they'll never cover? Okay, ready, go. Trump Jr. didn't have any silverware in his house. No one thought that was weird? Are we still rolling? Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia put money into Disney, so just know there won't be any girl characters in the next Cars movie. Are we still rolling? This is wild. Okay, why have so many presidents' chefs died? Weird. Boy Scout of America, they renamed itself Scouting America. You know who else changed their name? Sean Combs. Just saying. Let's learn something in 2025. I can't believe you guys are still letting me go. This is amazing. I love CNN. Please stop me, Andy, because I will just keep going.
So the things you can't say on TV, she said on TV. And I'm surprised they didn't cut her off. Especially the Diddy joke. So yeah. And it wouldn't surprise me if YouTube does censor the dead chef's line. What's this? The full.
Was that thunder?
That was thunder.
Are you sure? I thought it was Kathy Griffin screaming at you from the street. Are you sure? I think she's cursing.
Well, no doubt.
Evening.
And how is Junior?
Junior's doing wonderful.
Wow.
I had my baby myself.
How old?
A year old.
Wow.
I know. I'm finally back. I did carry my own child. Television just doesn't pay what it used to, so I had to carry my own kid. It was pretty humbling.
What are you most excited for?
I'm touring all over for all of 2024.
Oh man. So there you have Whitney Cummings roasting the topics that the mainstream media won't cover. I thought she was roasting CNN myself, but I can be wrong a time or two. It happens. I'm not right all the time. What do we got here? We still have some H-1B visa fallout. Well, this is Tommy Robinson's documentary being taken down off of YouTube. And Elon's like, hey, what's going on at YouTube? And Nina Infinity, much to her credit, saying, hey, the same thing that's going on with X. It's called channel banning reach for wrongthink. Clean your own house, Elon. For those of you that don't know, some of you may already know, but some rather large accounts have been demonetized off of X. Now, whether you like these people or not, that's irrelevant. But when you have somebody like Laura Loomer, who love her or hate her, and she is a firebrand. Some people think she's crazy. Some people think she's loony. For good or bad, she was very outspoken against the H-1B stuff. And I'm of the stance that, you know, corporations, companies, large and small, have taken advantage of the H-1B visa program. And it needs to be reformed. And yeah, there are some people, including Elon himself, have taken advantage of the program. Now, from what I know is that companies are recruiting people, foreign nationals, to come into this country to do jobs that they're saying that Americans either don't have the ability to do or don't want to do or can't do, whatever the case may be. But it becomes to where these individuals come over into our country and they bring their entire family with them. And then they're actually, a lot of them are grossly underpaid for what they do. They're cheap labor. And then they're here. And some people say it's like indentured servitude, where, you know, if these people are brought into this country and they decide that, hey, I'm underpaid, I'm going to go work for somebody else, the company they're working for can say, nope, you either stay with us or we're going to ship you back home, ship you back to your country. Which, okay, whatever. But what's happened here is this debate has stirred up a lot of, has dug up a lot of things on a lot of people. And Elon being one of them. Now, I did respond to somebody. I'm not going to try to dig and find it, but the essence of my response is, removing somebody's check mark from X or demonetizing them from X because they called you out for what you're doing is not a cool move. It's not a good look. Even though you own the platform and you have the ability to do it as the owner of the platform, it's not a cool look. You have to be able to take those knives. You have to be able to take those arrows. You cannot get yourself into a position where somebody finds that you're taking advantage of a visa system, and they put it out there to show people, hey, look at so-and-so's doing this. And then that individual who happens to own the platform gets mad and says, well, I don't like the fact that you called me out, so I'm going to take away your living. You have to have thick skin if you're going to be on the internet. I have found that out myself in the last couple of years. I got roasted. I got flamed for my comment about the whole Brett Bielema, Shane Beamer dust up on New Year's Eve during the Citrus Bowl. I had personal attacks. Attack me personally because they didn't have an argument. And you know what you have to do? You have to let it roll off your shoulders. In fact, you're better off not even responding at all. But yeah, it's sad to see that, you know, and Elon's not the only one that took advantage of the H-1B visa program. Hell, I'll say it. I don't care. I'm just a little guy, and these guys are much bigger than me. PBD, Patrick Bet-David, he took advantage of it. I think it was Jeremy from the Quartering dug up, because you can go research this stuff. You can go find it out there. It's out there. It's available. It's public information. PBD had a posting out there, H-1B visa for a position within his company. Now, personally, what I think they should be looking at Americans first. You're an American company. You should be looking for talent within this country. Now, are there times where you can bring in somebody from another country to do the job? I'm sure there certainly is. But there are more than enough willing, able-bodied people in this country that can do some of these jobs. Are you going to have to pay them more? Possibly. But you don't know until you start taking in the resumes, the applications, doing the interviews. That's just my take on it. You know, it's real simple. It's real simple. What else we got going on here? I've been stumbling, bumbling, rambling. I like doing these talking head live streams. They are fun to watch. Try to get an idea what's going on here, making sure my stream is stable. I've been testing out different settings on other streams. Make sure that everything is smooth and okay, which is a case for having fiber internet instead of cable, because you better upload with fiber. In fact, your upload a lot of times matches your download. So what else we got here? Oh, this popped up yesterday. This is from over at that Park Place. Avengers actor Mark Ruffalo attacks Elon Musk in resurfaced meltdown, claims we are the ones to believe in. This I gotta see. Mark Ruffalo has a meltdown and says that people should listen to him instead of Elon Musk. This is like 30 seconds long. Let's play this.
Elon Musk is such a two-faced turncoat traitor because he was a climate champion and he sold himself out for a buck and some power. Don't follow that guy. That guy doesn't even have his original accent anymore. Don't follow him. Don't listen to him. We're the ones who we have to believe in. We're the ones who we're waiting for, and we are the ones that have to move forward together.
So all you have there, Mark, is he doesn't have his South African accent anymore. You know, some people that have immigrated into this country, especially if they came here at a rather young age, over time do lose their native accent, where they don't speak with their native accent. And yes, South Africans do have a native accent. They do still speak English, but they have a native accent. And it's not a surprise that he does sound more Americanized than probably what he did say, oh, I don't know, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And no, he hasn't changed his stance on the climate agenda. At least not to my knowledge. Oh, Mark Ruffalo. Should Elon remove Ruffalo's blue tick and demonetize his account for the lols? Okay, I'm going to say this right now. I am not for demonetizing people just because of their opinion. I'm not for blocking people just because of their opinion. Now, if somebody were to personally go after an individual and excessively go after somebody in a personal nature, then yeah, I'm for blocking somebody. But if they're having an opinion and it's their opinion, you don't demonetize them. You don't block them. Hell, I'll even go one further. You allow all opinions, whether you disagree with them or agree with them, on any platform. I'm looking at you, YouTube. YouTube, Rumble, X. 3 places where I'm streaming right now simultaneously. Odyssey, Kick, Twitch, BitChute. You name the platform. All opinions should be allowed. All opinions should be able to be monetized. Are there exceptions? Yes. Should there be some restrictions? Yes. But some of the more draconian things on certain platforms should stop. Everybody should have the opportunity to be able to compete in the arena of ideas. Whether you're on the right, the left, communist, socialist, anarchist, whatever the case may be, you all should be able, or I should say, we all should be able to compete in the arena of ideas. And that I hate to tell you guys this, but that's First Amendment. That's freedom of speech. See, people like to throw around the term hate speech. That's hate speech. No, there's no such thing as hate speech. There's speech. Period. End of story. Speech. Just like the Second Amendment says, shall not be infringed. Some people say, well, you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. Well, yeah, you can. You can. You know, just like this little post right here from Mark Ruffalo, where he was saying that comparing, what was this? Mine's one of his social media following the U.S. Supreme Court's 6-3 decision granting former presidents immunity from criminal prosecution over official acts during their tenure. Oh, yeah, the immunity thing. That's right. People on the left think that the president can do whatever the hell he wants now. Well, that's not true. That's not true. And then Mark Ruffalo repeated with an image from March of 1933. Just for the record, history is repeating itself. No, Mark. No, it's not. Which, by the way, Disney, why haven't you fired Mark Ruffalo for this like you fired Gina Carano for her social media post? Can you explain that one to me, please? I mean, come on. You know, don't forget, Gina's got that little lawsuit going on against Disney that I think Discovery is supposed to happen. I think it's in April. Might be sooner. I'll have to check on that. That'll be when the fun starts. That's when you get out your popcorn, sit back, and just watch for the stories and the news to be revealed about the inner workings at Disney and what's been going on at Disney for all these years. Because Disney does not want Discovery to happen. And I hope Gina just stands her ground and doesn't accept any settlement offer. What else we got going on here? I'm just spitballing here, folks. I really didn't have a plan today. It was just going to be, you know, fly by the seat of my pants. Disney's Mufasa bomb signals disaster for Rachel Zegler's Snow White. Uh-oh. Yeah, Mufasa's not doing as well as they thought it would at the box office. What do we got here? When was the story put out there? December Dust is an old story. I love now the fact that on social media we can now fact check in real time because Disney put out their was it Monday? It was Sunday or Monday, where they were the number one Mufasa was the number one movie in America at the box office, and it wasn't. It was Sonic 3. And then they started removing comments off their post on X, which was even better. And they got caught. Oh, just looking to see what else here we go. 31 of the most anticipated movies of 2025. This is from Deadline. Wolfman in theaters January 17th. Not sure about this one. Back in Action, movie on Netflix, January 17th. Okay. You're cordially invited. Prime Video. Okay. Captain America, Brave New World. The Captain America movie without Captain America. This is one of the most anticipated movies of 2025. Yeah. Honey, we're going to see Captain America on Valentine's Day. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, there's going to be more on that one later. Bridget Jones, Mad About the Boy. Did not know we were going to have another Bridget Jones movie. The Gorge, Apple TV. The Legend of Oki, or Ochi. That looks like a reimaged Baby Yoda. Just saying. Sinners, Michael B. Jordan has dual roles in this movie as twin brothers battling a sinister force in the Jim Crow South. Okay. The Electric State, Chris Pratt's in that one. Could be pretty good. Oh, Snow White. Wonderful Snow White. This movie does not have a snowball's chance in hell of making any money for Disney at the box office. There has been irreparable damage done to this movie. All because of Rachel Zegler. Well, she gets 90% of the blame. The other 10% should be on Disney for trying to remake an animated classic into a live action movie. Minecraft movie. This looks like shit, but it'll probably do really well at the box office. Because Minecraft is just huge. That's all I got to say about that. Minecraft is big. So it'll probably do well at the box office. It'll do well at the box office, but it looks like shit. Mickey 17, never heard of it. Thunderbolts. We got the Thunderbolts without the Thunderbolts. And what did they do to Bucky's hair? So we'll see when that one comes out. I don't think that one's going to do very well either. Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey. Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. You know, it's a shame the other one did the what was it called? Dead Reckoning Part 1. Yeah, Dead Reckoning Part 1. It's a shame that movie didn't do better at the box office because I thought it was really good myself. This one I will be going to see May 23rd. Ballerina, this is a John Wick spinoff. We'll see how it does. Ilio, have no idea. How to Train Your Dragon, live action. Can we please stop the live action remakes of animated classics? To me, that's just a cash grab. F1, this one's been in the making for quite a while, I think. Another Jurassic Park movie. Great. Mahershala Ali, who's supposed to be in Blade. Marvel's remake of Blade. That's been delayed indefinitely. And Superman. This is the one that I have said on other videos. I believe this is going to make or break the superhero genre. When the trailer dropped, thought the trailer was good. I like, Crypto, you got Lex Luthor, but then you throw in Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific. Superman doesn't need all those ancillary superheroes in a Superman movie. Then there's been word of the test screening not going very well, or not doing very well. People are not happy with it. Warner's not happy with it. So the jury's out. As far as making money, it's going to have to do $1 billion plus to make money at the box office. And this could be a really good movie and not make money at the box office. But the way we judge things is, did it make, what was the box office? What were the receipts in America and worldwide? And it could be a really good movie and not make the money that it's supposed to make and not make any money for Warner. So the jury's out. But I think this is going to be a make or break for superhero movies going forward. Then right after that, you got Fantastic Four First Steps, which I've heard some good things about it. Still don't like Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, but we'll see. And also too, you have a female Silver Surfer. No, just no. Freakier Friday. That's the sequel to 2013's Freaky Friday. Tron Ares. Black Phone 2. Another Predator movie. Predator Badlands. Was Predator Prey a success? I don't think it was that much of a success. We got our Wicked Part 2, which is called Wicked for Good. Zootopia 2. Oh, the new Avatar movie. It'll do 1.5 billion and then nobody will talk about it after a couple weeks. Marty Supreme. Have no idea. A Housemaid. Have no idea. Let's see what some of the comments are here. Cinema is currently in a depressing dark ages when it comes to tentpole films. Has been for the last 6 years, I would say. Bring back the mid-budget original idea films. I'm absolutely sick to death of cape shit, prequels, sequels, reboots, and remakes for the most part. Yeah, that's where a lot of people are. 28 years later seems like the only promising tentpole film as of yet, though why that is not on this list is beyond me. This article was probably written before that trailer dropped. When was this article written? Or they probably had this article in the works before that trailer dropped. January. Oh, it was written yesterday. Maybe they just couldn't change it for editorial purposes. Back to the comments. This list is total trash. I'm super hyped about Alex Garland and Danny Boyle's 28 Years Later with Jodie Comer and Ralph Fiennes this summer. Back in action, married couple who are pulled back into espionage after their secret identities are exposed. Are we doing this one again? Jeez. That's what gets Cameron back? I get it. It'll be huge on Netflix and came with a massive payday. But really? The pitch? So it's about a married couple living a normal life. Wait. You ever see Mr. and Mrs. Smith or True Lies? Or Keeping Up with the Joneses or The Family Plan? Or, yeah. No Karate Kid. That's surprising. Karate Kid's not on this list. Wicked for Good is the only standout, fresh, original, artistic, and entertaining. Yeah. Have you seen the play on Broadway? I wouldn't say Wicked is original. Captain America, Thunderbolts, and Fantastic Four will definitely get my money. Tempted to check out Superman, but never been much of a DC fan, so it would be purely to see if Gunn can repeat his Guardians of the Galaxy success. The Freaky Friday sequel, Lindsay Lohan switches body with an Asian guy. That sounds hilarious. Oh, that would be something. That would be something. Looking forward to watching Captain America, Thunderbolts, Mission Impossible, Jurassic World, whatever. F1 Tron 3 or F4 Tron 3, Zootopia 2 on streaming. Also waiting for Moana 2 to stream. Only sequels, reboots sell these days. Your minority opinion doesn't matter. No, it's because Hollywood is out of original ideas. They can't do anything original. They just can't. Barbie, Oppenheimer, and Wicked prove that audiences will flock to good new content. If your contention is true, then cinema is dead. Well, as this person points out, Barbie and Wicked might not be sequels as such, but they're part of franchises that date back decades, so not sure you can truthfully consider them new content. Oppenheimer's fair enough, but even that isn't a true example of new content, proving a huge success, given it owes a lot to Barbie for its box office take. Cinema ain't dead, but like it or not, it will always need the big budget blockbuster franchises to survive. Well, all I'm going to say is Godzilla -1 proved that you can make a big blockbuster and not break the bank with a $200 million plus budget. What was the budget for Godzilla -1? It was like 15 million or something like that. I know it was small. Hollywood Reporter, what do they have for their most anticipated movies? They got Wallace and Gromit. Back in Action's on their list. One of Them Days. Presence. Wolfman. You're Cordially Invited. Companion. Love Hurts. Bridget Jones. Captain America again. Paddington's on their list. The Monkey. Sinners. The Electric State. Snow White's on their list. Minecraft movie. Woman in the Yard. Mickey 17. They're actually making a sequel to The Accountant. If you haven't seen The Accountant, it's actually pretty good. I actually saw it twice in theaters. It's pretty good. Thunderbolts, Lilo and Stitch, Mission Impossible, Karate Kid Legends. At least the Hollywood Reporter got Karate Kid on their list. And 28 years later, Megan 2.0, Untitled Trey Parker, Matt Stone comedy. Know What You Did Last Summer sequel? Great. The Bad Guys. They're remaking The Naked Gun. I didn't know they were remaking The Naked Gun. Oh my gosh, stop. Hollywood, stop. Freakier Friday. Nobody 2. I heard about that. They were doing a sequel to Nobody. If you haven't seen Nobody, that's pretty good too. Mercy, Conjuring Last Rites. Downton Abbey 3. Michael, Black Phone 2, Good Fortune, Regretting You. Now You See Me 3, The Running Man. This is this is everything coming out in 2025 rather than our top favorites of 2025. Frankenstein, Happy Gilmore 2, The Old Guard 2. Another Knives Out movie. Smashing Machine. Yeah, there's a Hollywood Reporter went a little more in depth with their most anticipated movies of 2025. They went more in depth than Deadline. I'm surprised because they're both owned by the same company, Penske Entertainment. And yes, that same Penske, Roger Penske's kid. Don't ask me how I know that. I just know that. So, a lot of movies coming out in 2025. Some look good, some not. More sequels, more remakes, more reimaging, more revisions. What else we got here? I think that's about it for today, folks. So I think that's about it. I'm going to, well, hold on a second. I'm not a Breitbart member, so I can't get to that article. That caught my eye. Studio exec doesn't think James Bond is a hero. Are you flipping kidding me? James Bond is not a hero? Wow. That's all I got to say about that. Wow. Kirsten Bell ends 2024 donating over $100,000 to cover that. Okay. There's always the talk of the bad in Hollywood, but occasionally you get these little nuggets here, and good for her. Even though 100K doesn't go as far as it used to when it comes to medical bills, still good for her. There's always like to see these little feel-good stories, even though they're few and far between. So I guess that's it for today, folks. Again, Happy New Year, 2025. Looking forward to some hopefully some big things this year, at least with my channel. Hoping to increase its reach and just trying to grow this thing. Just trying to make it bigger, better. Right now, my live streams are going to be on, I'm targeting Tuesdays and Thursdays around 10 a.m. Eastern time. And I'll go for an hour, hour and a half, whatever, with my musings. Hopefully, once I start getting some eyeballs in this thing, I'll start taking some requests from the chat as far as things to talk about, because I want this thing to be truly audience driven. And believe me, I'm not going to shy away from giving my opinion on things. That's why I started posting content for, was to give my opinion and cover the goings on, whether it's current events, what's going on out of Hollywood, pop culture, entertainment, sports, you name it. I'll talk about it. I don't care. I'll ramble. And hopefully people like my rambling. So there you go. Before I go, just want to say thank you to everybody that's watched. Even if you're not watching this live, thank you. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And with that, I will bid you guys